So I have seen God, and the word today is very touching, because from 2 Timothy, what did you hear? God is saying there are different articles in God's house or in the house. There are some of gold, some of wood, some of silver. And if you cleanse yourself, what does God do? He'll use it. He'll use you for honorable purposes. So do you want God to use you? You want? This verse is telling us that God wants to use you, not just use you, but mightily. Yes? This is an encouragement for us. Maybe you have been thirsting there for God to use you. The verse today is telling us God wants to not just use you, but use you mightily. And when we appear before God, does not mind your outward appearance. He does not mind your status of your account. You know, we are living in an era whereby you could be in a church or in a congregation where when a member enters in, already there are people seeing the value of the person. Well, for God, He does not look at the status of your account. He also does not look at the size of your body, whether you are tall or short. This is a great revelation. Also, God does not look at your past. Are you encouraged? God does not look at how you came into the world. He looks at where you're going. God looks at where you are going. He does not consider your past so that He can see how He'll use you in the future. No. God considers what He sees He will use you to do. So it is the desire of God to use every one of us mightily. So tell your neighbor, God wants to use you. That's why you are here today. God wants to use you mightily. Okay, so, but for God to use us, you know, we are 7 billion in the world. On earth, we are 7 billion. But there are people who win the special attention of God. There are people who win the special attention of God. So today, we want to see how can we win the special attention of God so that He can use us mightily. And we have examples, and one of them, David was a young teen, 17 years. 17 years is a teenager, isn't it? Said, this man is the one I have chosen. Not the 23-year-olds, the 25-year-olds. So what did he look at? That's what we want to see. So that we can go into being purified. So that God can use us. So, as water reflects a man's face, when you look into water, it reflects your face. So does our lives reflect our hearts. If God wants to know your heart, He looks at the way you live. When He wants to know your heart, He looks at the way you live. Remember in the times of Noah, when God saw, Genesis 6 verse 5, it says, when God saw that every inclination of the human thoughts of heart was to evil all the time, He regretted creating them. What did He look at? Did He look at their physical appearance? No. Did He look at their possessions? Did He look at their money? No. Did He look at their children? No. He looked at the inclination of the heart. So when God saw David, He saw that this is a man after my heart. His inclination was towards the will of God, fulfilling the will of the perfect will of God. So there's a way you can live in this life and never fail or fall. And that is when you are inclined to the perfect will of God. The will that cannot be stopped, that will never fail, that can never be undone by anyone. Look, the Bible, in summary, is a redemption plan of God. Has it ever been stopped? And we will still live it, being fulfilled until Jesus comes back. So if your life is inclined to the perfect will of God above your own will, then you'll never fail and you'll never fall. Even your failure becomes part of his plan. Does it make you wonder that even Bathsheba appears in the birth line of Jesus Christ? The failure of David, God uses it as part of his redemption plan. So did he really fail? No. So you can see, this God is amazing. So long as your heart is inclined to the perfect will of God, then even your failure becomes part of the redemption plan of God. So God looks at the heart's inclination. He looks at this. Look, picture a bride-to-be who today is saying yes to you, and then the next day she's saying no. Can someone plan a wedding with such a bride? So there are some of us are sitting on the fence. Today you say yes to Jesus. Tomorrow you say no to Jesus. So you keep praying around. So how will God use you? Because the calling of God is more than even marriage, earthly marriage.